You know who I heard about it from? I heard about it from the Hillary Clinton team.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did, because you said that. I'm sure you heard about it. In fact, you won't be getting an interview with them anytime soon.
All right, folks, welcome to Give Me Five. John Harwood, CNBC's chief Washington correspondent, made remarks on that very show on CNBC with Joe Kernan and his friends the day prior, and then there he was telling us all how he heard about it from Hillary's people, because he said Obama's foreign policy is causing chaos throughout the world, or there's chaos throughout the world, and it's a problem for Hillary, and Hillary's people didn't like it. Watch.
They were noting the way the other side was using it. It wasn't. It was not a heavy reaction. It was just like, wow, did you see what the Free Beacon and these other conservative groups were saying about what you said about Hillary?
Yep, so they didn't like it. Now, this is Squawk Box. The day before is when he made the remarks on Squawk Box that got that reaction from Hillary's people. Here's some of what he said.
What do you think of Hillary? I mean, that's...
Well, look,
people
Hillary
love the Clintons, and they don't think everything's calculated, but I think that the Clintons calculate every single thing that they do, except unless it's a mistake.
Well, look, it appears that she's running for president, and her independent credential running for president is that she was President Obama's Secretary of State. The world is now blowing up, so that is a big problem for her.
And that's the remark that got him in trouble with Hillary's people. The world's blowing up, and it's a big problem for Hillary. And they didn't like that. Here's more.
She's going to be looking for ways to separate herself from the current foreign policy mess. And she did that to Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic, when she said the failure to arm those moderate faction in Syria left a void that the jihadis filled. When I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago on a national public radio show on Point, she said, I asked her about her responsibility for the mess in the world, and she said, well, any administration has to lead and manage things as best they can, and we did that in the first term. In the first term.
In the first term, when she was Secretary of State, throwing Kerry and Obama under the bus for the second term problems. Here's more of what Harwood said.
We're now in the second term, and I think you can expect to see a series of things as going forward where she's going to try to separate herself from the administration, as anybody would running in her circumstance, because voters are very reluctant usually to give the same party a third term in office, and Obama's ratings are low, and she's going to look for a way to make her mark. She did this on Russia as well, by the way. She said, well, the reset worked with Russia, but then Putin came back. I told the president we need to change tactics, and now here we are.
Yeah, she tried, but she couldn't convince Obama. More.
For Hillary to come out and say that, to actually quote that, don't do stupid stuff, and say that is not an organizing principle, that is throwing down. That is throwing down. That is right there, down to the curb on the Obama doctrine.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Look, and that's the point. She's going to, if she runs, and I think she will, she's got to find a way to say all the bad stuff that's going on right now, that's not my stuff.
Right. Now, Joe Kernan points out she may be too far to the right for many progressives. Listen.
That's a way to do it.
Progressives are going crazy. They're like, geez, we thought Hillary was going to be the heir apparent here to what we wanted to do with President Obama. And now she's saying all this hawkish stuff, and they are not necessarily going to be particularly, the far left is not going to be thrilled with a lot of it. She likes bankers. She wants, she actually thinks the private sector is a productive part of the economy.
Ooh, the left doesn't like that. Here's the final word on this.
Yeah, well, look, there are going to be some people on the left who are unhappy with her. I talked to Bernie Sanders a couple of weeks ago, and he thinks he thinks Obama's too far right, and he's going to think Hillary's too far right.
Yeah.
But I think the import of that opposition is going to end up being rather small.
As John Harwood learned, watch what you say about Hillary on the Steve Malzberg Show.